I think I became aware of kind of my own gender identity quite early on, maybe about 12 or 13 at the latest. Um, I think I was aware of the pressure on young teenage girls to look a certain way. When I was diagnosed with epilepsy at that age, and so my medication affected my weight quite a lot. It would go up and down when I was younger. So I think that it made me more aware at that age than maybe some of my friends of what was kind of going on and what you were expected to look like. Also, the way you were expected to behave, dress, even the toys that you were expected as a young girl to play with compared to what you would maybe want to. I remember referring to my headmaster when I was in primary school as a sexist pig because women weren't allowed to be part of the football team at school, and I ended up convincing him to let girls and boys be on the same teams and go to football practice. Um, I don't think I've ever. I think I've rejected, whether subconsciously or not, or ignored, not noticed, a lot of the kind of gender roles like constructed by society, predefined gender roles for women. I don't feel. I've never felt any pressure or let it affect me that to have children or to feel maternal in any way, because I don't, and I haven't. I felt the same way for about the past 10 years, so I don't see it changing anytime soon. I am aware of the pressures, but I've had a really good upbringing, and my parents never really put any pressure on me to be a certain way or to grow up to kind of do certain things. Like on the issue of female body hair, like I was never pressured. It's not like it was a coming of age thing. Right now you're 13, you have to shave your legs. My mum was always like of the opinion of kind of whatever you're comfortable with. If you want to, go for it. If you don't come to me for any advice. But there was never any pressure, which I know is different to a lot of my female friends. Don't think I've ever questioned my own gender identity. I've questioned my own identity a lot, but I don't think I've ever questioned my own gender identity. Maybe more now than I did when I was younger. More when it comes to feeling like I have to behave a certain way. I don't particularly enjoy dressing in a stereotypically feminine way. I'm not interested in kind of fashion and magazines and celebrity culture as such. So I suppose the kind of idea of what I should be, purely created by the media, really. I don't really conform to that. I've kind of rejected it. I don't know, I don't feel like I've got to be a wifey, or I think that me and Andy pretty much share out most of the things that need done. It's not like one of us in particular cooks, or one of us does the shopping, or one of us cleans. Just kind of whichever one's about and does it. Quite lucky with my relationship in that we're both pretty much on the same page when it comes to gender, and it's pretty much bits between the ears, not between the legs. Whatever you identify as, whatever you feel you are, is all that matters. There's just pure acceptance. There's no need to kind of delve any further into it unless it's something that somebody wants to talk about. I would say that I identify as female, but I am drawn to certain stereotypically masculine kind of dress or behaviours and interests. I think when I was growing up, I was kind of confused about what I was feeling and what I was attracted to. I actually thought I was gay for about a couple of years because I didn't realise that it was okay to accept that you found people attractive. I thought I had to be straight or gay. I didn't realise that I could kind of just appreciate kind of people and personalities as well as gender. I think that partly the media, but also kind of social pressures and the way it's taught in schools and the way sexual education is, it's pretty much like, this is how a man and a woman produce a baby. That's all that sex is. It's nothing else. I mean, there's nothing taught about kind of, well, when I was at school, about consent or about a lot about like same-sex relationships or gender identity. None of this was really touched upon. I think that's a really important thing that should be included in the curriculum for kind of sex ed for young kids. I feel strongly about kind of having my own identity, but it's interesting because I don't think gender actually plays a big part in the way I present myself. I don't want to play into someone else's idea of what I should be. And although I've had some different kind of experiences throughout my life of judgments from people, and although my upbringing, there was no pressure or judgment to get married, have children, own a house, learn how to cook, that kind of thing. There's definitely, I've found within actually the medical profession, the only people that have ever really mentioned it has been my epilepsy nurse and my doctors, about my epilepsy medication. Oh, you're of childbearing age now, so do we need to reconsider? And oh, now that you're married, does that mean that that we need to change your medication or bring your medication down so that it's not going to affect kind of fertility and stuff, and or affect the baby? And I'm like, well, don't actually want children, don't see children as part of my future in any way. And I'm quite lucky that Andy's quite supportive and feels the same way, because that could have caused problems. So I think I identify as female, but I feel I maybe reject the kind of roles put in place. But I think there's a lot more work needed on the way gender is kind of seen in society, and I think that there's a really good movement within the LGBTQ kind of, I think that's a really good movement. I think it's helping to confront certain stereotypes, but it's also a place, well, it's an idea that it's people that we interact with, not sexuality, not gender, not kind of what parts you've got. It's who you are and how you feel. So cool.